Welcome to the NNBN podcast, talking with businesses, charities and organisations across Northamptonshire.
Sponsored by Poppy Design Studio. Find us at poppydesignstudio.com.
The NNBN Awards are now open for entry until 30th of June, recognising achievements of Northamptonshire's businesses, charities, individuals and organisations. Visit nnbnawards.co.uk to enter today.
So welcome to another podcast, and it's great to be here. It's Simon here. You haven't got Marie. She leaves all this to me, but we know at the end of the day she's the brains behind the whole business, don't we? But there we go. This is my chance to express myself, get a chance to talk to people locally about what's going on, help them get their message out there, and I thoroughly enjoy it as well. So if you would like to be here on the podcast channel, please do get in contact with us. hello@nnbn.co.uk, or maybe pick up the phone and call us 01536 6483 83, and we'll get you on the podcast and talk to you about what you get up to. So today you're with George and George from Venturi Marketing. Welcome guys, it's great to see you and have a conversation around what you're doing. So let's find out a little bit about you. Let's kick off with you, George. There's three of you for a start, isn't there?
Yes. So we started Venturi Marketing about 9 months ago now. Prior to that, it was WriterJet, which is a company based around copywriting. But that evolved, it turned into what's now Venturi Marketing. And we essentially just offer comprehensive marketing services. Copywriting is what we specialise in. Non-AI generated copywriting, to be specific with it. Social media marketing, social media management, and marketing consultancy specifically for startup companies. We grew up and know each other from school, George and George, so people remember that, so that's good.
That is a coincidence.
Is it?
I think it wasn't intentional.
Yeah, and of course your initials are BBC as well, so it kind of all fits with that as well, doesn't it? But so how's it been so far? What's the journey been like for you so far in starting the business from when you first set out?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been difficult sometimes because obviously me and George, we're students at university. Bosworth, you're doing your job alongside the Venturi Marketing, and it's been good, tough, challenging, and ever changing, but yeah, we like that, and we like a challenge, and we get a kick out of helping people, and we get to do that through Venturi Marketing.
Yeah. But equally, it's an exciting opportunity as well. It's an exciting place to be as well, is what I find, because obviously you don't know what's going to happen. You never know where things are going to go. When the phone rings, you're really excited, and you think, well, off you go, and everything like that. And you're taking the lead on the sales, aren't you?
Yeah.
So that's your role, but George, what's your role within the business?
So I mainly run our social medias and then a part of the website blog side of it all, which is just to make sure we're staying constant, making sure everyone's getting their updates, and I suppose proving that we're still moving forward.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, clients with what you're doing, some of it's visible, some of it's not visible, isn't it? So people need to see what is going on. And what's your role within the business, George?
So I work on a lot of the operations and a lot of logistics within the company. So trying to create sufficient strategies and processes involved with, say, for example, when we're dealing with clients, or we have, especially with our copywriting specialty, making sure there's in-line processes for all of us to follow to make sure we're meeting the satisfactory client needs, if that makes sense. So, and I work closely with George as well in terms of going to networking events, trying to put a front foot forward in terms of acquiring clients and making sure there's that good communication running throughout the business as a whole.
Yeah, brilliant. I think the thing that we've seen with you since we've got to know you is that you're all likeable chaps for a start. I think that's a key thing. But I think you're actually bringing the average age of the network groups down as well. It's brilliant because you're starting out, aren't you? First ever time you sort of run a business as well, and it can be quite a challenging, daunting place. But as I said, quite exciting. And what's been the best thing for you so far, George? Would you say since starting the business?
To be fair, I'd say it's more just it's a good challenge that you can always get to. Obviously, with everything else that like you get involved in, whether it's like uni or your job, you're on someone else's timetable. Whereas with here, the amount of progress we make is entirely dependent on however much we want to do. So if you feel a very unproductive day, it's like, yeah, it's fine, but it's on you if nothing goes forward. And then other days when you're on it and us three are all in the group chat, like, oh, who's doing this, we're on this, da da da. It's just a good atmosphere to get involved with.
Yeah, brilliant. And for yourself as well, what's been the most exciting thing for you so far?
I think I'd be lying if I didn't say it was getting the first client and getting a good first bit of money rolling.
Yeah.
Because obviously you start something to try and generate money, and when you first get that, it gives you a kick. It becomes addictive, and I think it really helps form that passion around what you're doing, and makes you want to continue pushing the company forward. And obviously it's a bonus you get to do it with your mates, so it's a win-win.
Yeah, I mean, great. I mean, since we've got to know you, great teamwork. I can see the dynamics work really well between you. I mean, the three Georges as well. You're not going to get forgotten, are you? I mean, it's a great dynamic you've actually set up. And what about yourself, George? I mean, how's it gone for you so far?
Brilliant. I mean, I think to build on George's point about working with mates as well, I think that's a crucial thing, because you not just with working with your friends, but it's also finding the line you're working with your business partners. And a lot of the time it's about acknowledging when you've got to put professionalism first before friendship, you know, making sure that you're all completely aware of what the best thing and best capabilities of each person is for the purpose of the company, not just because you're friends. And I think that's a crucial aspect of the whole running of the business in general, you know, making sure everybody's completely aware and having regular checkups, regular communications, and when we have setbacks involved, it's not a personal issue between friends, but a crucial issue of how we're going to adapt for the future of the business, and I think that's a key thing.
Yeah, and well done on recognising that as well, because you've got to separate the friendship away from business at the end of the day, and just, you know, ultimately be professional, because that's what your clients are looking for, isn't it? So well done on recognising that. I suppose let's talk about your services. So the actual services that Venturi Marketing offers. Do you want to talk through some of the actual services in detail?
Yeah, of course. So I think our main service that we offer is copywriting with SEO incorporated into that. So things like keywords, internal links, outbound links, things like that. And obviously, with the incoming of AI, we turn away from that. And we really try to make a point of offering human-generated copy, so that it's more personal, you know, and it hits that target audience far more than AI ever can. Obviously, AI is general, and as people, we understand people, so we really incorporate that into the copywriting service. Then obviously we've got social media marketing, social media management. George Bosworth takes on a lot of that. And that's what we do, everything from managing posts, scheduling posts, to creating the animations, and everything that comes under that. We offer marketing consultations for startup companies. Obviously, I mean, I've been doing all forms of marketing since I was about 16, from affiliate marketing, copywriting, drop shipping. I've just tried it all, and now I feel like I can really help people, especially my age and around my age, with maybe no experience, and advise them and help them on what they do there. So again, another personal service. And there are three main services that we like to promote and talk the most about, because that's what we feel we're best at, and that's where we feel our, you know, niche really is. We feel like that's what we're good at, and we can push that forward. And you know, we love helping startups and small businesses far more than obviously established companies, because at the end of the day, we're still growing, we're still new in the field of running our own business. We've got experience in marketing, obviously it's why we do that, but in terms of targeting businesses, we love helping small companies and really to bring an area up. So obviously we go to university in York, we're from Northamptonshire, and they're both great areas of the country with a lot of potential, especially in, you know, our age range. I'm 21, George, you're 20, so we're young men, and we're passionate about helping other young people, men, women, whoever, push forward a business. And if we can help with that, that's what we do. So copywriting, social media marketing, and marketing consultations for small and upcoming businesses.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned AI, because obviously AI is going to be a big thing for the future. There's going to be people, you know, obviously using AI to cut corners, to find out information, some of the information out there is just not correct, though, is it? It's literally, you can put it into AI and chat GPT and things, and you look at it and you think, that is just not factual. But what you're actually doing is you're actually delivering that service, which is actually working with clients to actually work with them to actually get that information, isn't it?
Yes, well, I think now is more important than ever to be offer quality human content, human written content, because I mean the latest March update on Google Search Console already states as well, there's so much spreading content, quick formulated, not quantity over quality through the purpose of AI, and it's messing up Google. Google is specialising now. It's not so much more about having a 2,000 word blog just to meet the word count to get that topical authority. It's about we want to see more quality content, specific information from creative source, and AI can't produce that.
Yeah.
So it's more important than ever, I think, actually, the copywriting world. A lot of people thought it was going to go the other way because of AI, but it's not true. It's the most crucial point, I think, is having that human creativity in the industry.
And just to add to that point, with offering the service of human generated content, it gives us the opportunity to sit down with clients and really understand what they want and what they're trying to achieve from their marketing efforts, especially copywriting, because that's the biggest thing. When somebody goes on, whether it's your website, reads your email marketing campaign, your social media, the copy needs to be targeted to who you're trying to hit. It really needs to resonate with that audience and take a holistic approach to what you're trying to do. And AI just doesn't do that. It's too broad and it doesn't narrow things down, and ultimately it's taken from what's already out there. It's not original, so you're not going to really make that impact that you want with content.
Yeah, I suppose a lot of business people that are started out, or small businesses that don't have budgets and things, will look towards that way. But you're quite right. I believe that as well. That it's not that personal service. Ultimately, people buy from people. We're creatures of a habit. We all work together in this community. We live together, we work together, we love each other, we fight, everything. That's what human race is about, isn't it? But ultimately, we all buy from each other, and I think AI has got a place, but not as dominant as people actually think within sort of marketing anyway. Because it is about hitting that right target market.
Yeah.
Your target market, you quite clearly defined, is startups and small businesses, which I think is fantastic, especially around the younger generation.
100%.
I think well done on recognising that as well, because I think it's fantastic what you're doing. I think it really is great to encourage you as well.
Exactly, and with AI, I think it can kind of make you lose sight of how important it is, especially for small businesses like us and like many other small businesses out there. It's important for small businesses to work together to grow an area and to bring everything up. AI does not help that at all. It's very much like, we're going to use AI. AI is going to be done for this, and that's going to help us. Helping each other out helps bring an area up, and small business within that area, and entrepreneurship, which is obviously something we're massive on and very passionate about.
Yeah, that comes across as well, because you've done some stuff overseas, haven't you? You've been actually working with people in America.
Yeah, so we just finished, so we worked with them for a month, and we helped them with their marketing efforts, specifically on their social media and their website, things to do with search engine optimization and whatnot. And it went really, really well. They were very happy with our advice on certain topics and very happy with our services. I mean, Bosworth, do you want to talk a bit about what you did with the social medias?
Yeah, of course. So we took a look at their social media before we got involved, obviously, just as as part of our consultation service, I suppose, just to see what was working, what isn't, what we would change. And then once we crossed that line with them lot, they made a couple changes that we recommended, and they immediately saw just huge growth, because there's just a couple simple things that people not in the social media industry just wouldn't work out, because at the end of the day you can have a design style that you like, but there's just little, I suppose, tips and tricks that if you use, social media loves, like the Instagram algorithm especially.
So I think we did we really took charge on one of their social media posts, and I think the engagement just went through the roof on that, didn't it?
About 400%.
Yeah, but it went up about 400%, and that's just from a little bit of us doing our thing. And they were great to work with, and it was great to have that experience at such a young age with working with businesses overseas. And now that organisation has near 600 members, so it's and obviously we're a small team, so it gives us the opportunity to really work with these bigger organisations with more people. So yeah, it's good.
Brilliant. And then talking about the social media platforms you're actually managing for clients, you're doing Instagram, you just mentioned.
For clients we can cover essentially anything they want to do. It entirely depends on their demographic, their audience. So like especially with older companies would go for Facebook. That's just a I don't know the polite way of saying it. An older
It's a generational
platform. And then with a lot of our business to business clients, LinkedIn is obviously the GOAT for that one.
Yeah.
But it all depends on the business itself.
Yeah, and what about things like X? Are you dealing with things, formerly known as Twitter? For those that don't know what X is, what about X? Are you doing anything with X at all?
It's a tricky one, to be fair. It's not, I don't think it works the same way as the others, because obviously with Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you post getting your message across, and then people who are interested will have a look, and then people who aren't, it doesn't really mess with. Twitter, it's so people based, so opinion based. If you're not willing to get into that personal side of it, you can't, your business can't exactly make a step on. That's why I see so many brand Twitters, essentially making jokes, memes, all these things. It works, but a lot of people just don't want that for their brand. It doesn't matter as much for these billion-dollar industries because they can do what they want. Especially for the smaller people, you want to try and keep a professional brand, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. And copywriting, obviously people create content. How do you get over those challenges where people actually say, I'm a gardener, what can you write for me? When you might not necessarily do the job or have ever done the job of a gardener. How do you get over those sort of challenges?
The most crucial thing with that is just having transparent communication with your client. It's throughout our process that when it comes to copywriting, the key thing that we pride ourselves on is fast responses to client emails. Completely understand before we even start work on a project. If we have briefs come through, you need to write a piece, 1,000-word blog on this gardening topic or whatever. It would be a case of completely making sure we've got all the necessary information that the client wants in that piece before we even make headway on it. Because the most important thing is, like we said before about AI, is having that specific expertise knowledge. Now, if it's a topic that we don't have that on, obviously the business will have that. So it's about creating that clear, transparent communication with the client to make sure that we're producing that quality piece of work.
And I think something we've learned with that as well is obviously starting out, is to not be afraid to ask people what they actually want.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of the time, people like you to understand what they want. So with us asking them the questions and making those necessary communications where it needs to happen, we can really understand what a client's looking for, what we need to know, what we need to go away and do, and produce a first draft for them. Is this something you like? Is this something you want to continue with? They'll either say yes or no, and if they say no, we'll go away, make the adjustments and come back. And that's obviously not included in the cost. That's whatever. We'll do that out of our own need to understand, because obviously we want to produce the best work as possible for our clients. So
it's about getting to know your customer, isn't it? About getting to know your client as well, and not there's no expert out there in every industry, so don't ever feel that it's just something you can't do. It is literally working that relationship, learning, being honest and open. I think it's a great thing to be as well, so you can actually understand and help to grow yourself as well. So brilliant. Okay, what's the future look like for Venturi Marketing then? What's the exciting plans you got? Anything you want to share with us today while we're all together?
Yeah, so we're really excited. Obviously, we've just come off the back of that overseas operation, and we're going into offering a more comprehensive marketing service with photography. Obviously, we can talk more about that once we've got all the details over the line there, and we're going to be targeting a specific niche, and it's really exciting stuff. But ultimately, we really want to offer everything to a client. So when we go to a client, we can say, yep, no problem, you want photography, we'll cover that. We'll manage your socials, we'll do that. Effective copy, we'll do that. SEO, not a problem. And with us making that partnership, we think that's, we're just really excited about it, and it makes us more whole and complete as a company. And that's in the process of
I
coming
think
up.
as a customer, you want, if you're like, okay, I need to focus my efforts into a digital marketing service, you don't want to have to be thinking, well, I need to go there for that service, I need to go there for this, or who's that. You want to just be able to say, look, digital marketing, take this off my hands and help me, and we can see the results from that. And like you say, creating this holistic package is going to be a key element with that, alongside effective communication and niching it down with that aspect. I think that's going to be a very valuable asset to a lot of businesses.
Yeah, brilliant.
Taking that forward into the future, we're all about helping people. So obviously we're at university in York, and we're part of phase 1 cohort working space is where we work out of in York at the Catalyst. And we're taking on interns from local sixth forms, and really helping out with the youth. That's something we're passionate about, is helping people, especially young people, because we feel like entrepreneurship is not encouraged enough, and it's entrepreneurship and enterprise that really brings an area up and puts it on the map. And obviously we're passionate about York, we're passionate about Northamptonshire, because obviously we're from here. So attending events like NNBN events and speaking to young people in the sixth forms in Northamptonshire and how we can help them and what we've done so far and what we want to do, pushing that towards it really brings out an entrepreneurial spirit and uplifts a whole area. So moving forward into the future, we want to be a comprehensive marketing agency. We can offer everything, and we want to continue to help young people and push entrepreneurship forward. I think that's really important for us.
Fantastic. And of course, on that note, you came down to the Startup Show down in London. We all went down there, didn't we? And a great Saturday journey down to London to kind of have an explore and see what that was all about. How did you find that Startup Show? Because obviously you were a startup yourself. There was obviously other startups there as well. There was younger people there as well, around your sort of generation as well. But a lot to learn, wasn't there?
It is really, like as I said about the social media thing, it's really weird when people point out something that seems so obvious that you just kind of go, how did we miss that?
Seems too good to be true.
Exactly. Yeah. We were going to, I think it was the Monzo one in particular. They had this presentation on about building your brand up from the beginning, and they're just dropping these simple little tasks, and we're like, yeah, we need to do that. Why haven't we done that? But very eye-opening just to find out small things that just boost us immediately, and we've already seen growth from it already. So.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, certainly to raise what you just said there about Monzo, what they were doing, even with my knowledge, my experience, I still go to these things because sometimes you need that little bit of a kick to say, actually, I should be doing this, and it's just that reminder. But also, there's always something you always learn from those sort of events as well. Yeah,
100%. I think when you go to these events and listen to obviously experienced entrepreneurs or established businesses or startups, everyone brings something to the table that you're like, I didn't even think of that, and it makes you recalibrate what you're doing, go back to the drawing board and just simplify things, because obviously once you're picking up the pace with client work, networking, I think sometimes, especially a struggle we've found as well, is you lose sight of what you're actually doing sometimes, and you're sometimes bringing it back, having a team meeting, speaking through everything, the nitty details of everything, simplifying it and going again, and that's something we find really helps us.
I would also argue that's probably one of the most important things as a startup company. You start to learn that as you're building a business from scratch, nobody comes to you with this is your step-by-step plan, this is what you've got to do to succeed. It's very much a case of putting yourself in situations, putting yourself around people who have done it, trying to really push yourself out there to learn from other people. That is the most important thing, because nobody comes to you with, do you want to do this, do you want to do this, do you want to do that? It's really hard to find the right information and the right advice and guidance to make a success, I think, as a startup company. And I think going to university as well is a key element of that, because you know yourself, you go to university and all throughout your education at university, what's drilled into you is post-grad career, post-grad drop, do this internship, do that internship, go into this employment in this company. There is nowhere throughout that experience that comes to you and they say, have you been interested in creating your own business? It doesn't happen.
No, and obviously as passionate entrepreneurs, like I was saying earlier, bringing it back to the basics and helping out the youth, helping out people younger than you, people who are turning 18, who maybe have a bit of an idea of what they're interested in, but don't know how to make it happen, And we was working with had a meeting the other day in York with a student who had just graduated from university up there, and we spoke to him about, you know, he finished with a great degree first in honours and all that, and he's working, you know, a normal job and everything, but he's like, I don't know where to go. So we sat down and spoke to him, and obviously identified his talents, and if we can help him push those forward with writing and things like that, you know, we're always going to help people, because we think that is the essence of entrepreneurship. You got to help people.
I think that leads into like our new consultancy service quite well, because we have lots of either start-up businesses or people who haven't even started who just go, I've got this idea, what do I do?
Yeah.
so I was going to say, I think we're quite happy in just being able to go, have you tried this? Like, look into this, just to give them that like first little push, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's amazing what you're saying about young people and entrepreneurship, because you're quite right, there is nothing out there. I've been saying this for a good number of years. There needs to be like a bridge from, you know, the education sector into the business community. We try and provide that, which is why, you know, we love working with you guys as well in what we're doing, but ultimately doing it around your own generation, your own peer groups as well, I think is fantastic, and being able to help them as well. So,
and I think being young, you know, it's almost a superpower in a way, especially if we come to events like we have been in York, like the NMBN. Sometimes you go to these events and other young people might see it on social media and go, oh, what's that about?
Yeah.
I'll have a look. And they might come down to the NMBN. They might come down to whatever event, you know, because they're like, well, if they're doing it, they're doing the young entrepreneurship. Why can't I give it a go? Yeah. Or maybe I'll message them. Why can I come down with you guys? We're never going to say no, you know. We think business is a community. And obviously, you know, Simon, you've given us a lot of your time, and NMBN's really helped us.
Yeah.
So with that, we identify that a community is, you know, an integral part of business and entrepreneurship.
yeah. Well, we're going to help you more, because what I recognise is the fact that you actually, as young people, actually want to get up and do things, which you can't buy that. At the end of the day, energy is what it's all about as well. You know, fantastic attitude you've got towards your business. I can see your passion coming across this talking to you, let alone actually what you deliver for your clients. But I was going to say, actually, the first ever network meeting I went to, I was 35 years old, and I was absolutely petrified. When I walked in the room, I was like, oh my God, there's all these people in the room. How did you find it? Because obviously being a young person coming into the business networks and in a meeting full of big fully grown adults and things, and you know, you're just making that step into that arena. How did you find it?
I think like it can be intimidating, because obviously you know that you're already on the back foot with experience with a lot of these people, but I think you'd be surprised with how much people are willing to help you and speak to you. You know, maybe they're not going to give you work because maybe you haven't got the credits or credentials to offer them work, but people will speak to you, mentor you, help you, give advice on where they went wrong and stuff like that. But yeah, it's quite an intimidating thing to go into. Yeah,
I'd like to add on that as well and build on that. One of the very first networking event as a business, when we were still RightJet, before we even expanded into Venturi Marketing, that was the very first networking event we've been to in York, and that was when we first got into uni our first year, and that was a whole new situation for us to be in. You know, I mean, we went there, we didn't know what we were expecting, didn't know what was going to go happening, and this, that, and the other. But just through that singular networking event, we met so many important people that have been vital to our networking.
We still speak to them now, a lot of them.
Still speak to them now. You know, we've met people that are representing the university, representing hospitality sectors, and have so many of these different connections that have helped us really build. And that was a very pivotal moment in our business, I do think. And it's just, like I said earlier, it's just pushing yourself out there and trying not to be intimidated, because I do think as younger entrepreneurs going into a room, you know, a lot of the time they're a lot more experienced than you, they're a lot more knowledgeable than you, and it's trying not go in there with an ego. You've got to go in there willing to learn from the other people.
Leave it at the door and understand that you're there and you're all ears, and you want to listen and you want to learn, and that's benefited us massively, and we've gained clients through that. And when people understand that you're willing to learn, they're willing to communicate. You know, and it goes up from there. Obviously, we're fortunate that when we go to networking events, more often than not, it's two of us or the three of us. So we're there as a team. So that's what we'd encourage. You know, if you've got a team, your mates or anything like that, just go.
Brilliant.
It's different.
I'm going to flip it slightly on its head, actually, because you've been in the networks 8-9 months now since you started out. You've seen various networks in Northamptonshire. You've seen bits up in York as well. There's people that come to these meetings that are still starting their journey that are twice your age. You've got far more experience than them already about how to engage and how to have these conversations. Whereas they're going to be in those shoes you were in one day. They're in the early 40s, because people do come into business at different times in their lives. So you've got to look at it that you're actually learning and growing ahead of them in that particular circuit, which I think is a massive asset. And I wish I'd started earlier. I think it's fantastic.
So I think that is one of the important things to remember. You, like, going into it, I think you picture yourself as the only newcomer, but especially with NNBN, you get new people every week, like chatting to them. It's like, oh, how many times have you been here? 2. It's like everyone is as awkward as you. Everyone is as nervous, trying to make conversations. It's not as daunting as you think.
No, because as soon as that barrier is broken, you realise, especially with entrepreneurship, small business people, you have so much in common.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing what you do because you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
And there's always a reason and a cause behind what you're doing. So as soon as you kind of bridge that and understand the similarities, the conversation gets flowing, and then, you know, you might not walk away with a client, but you're going to walk away with more knowledge, or somebody you can call on for knowledge, or somebody if you want to meet up and have a coffee.
I think that's the most important thing. I think a lot of the time when you're starting out and you're going to your first networking events, it's very much, you're trying to be quick and it's a bit of a rush, you're in a panic, you think you're going to go to an event and you're going to walk away with a client. It's not the case. You think you're going to go there, say, well, I offer this service, copywriting, this consultation, social media management, and somebody's going to be needing that, and you're going to walk away with a client. I think that's an easy mistake that people make when they're first going to these events, and I think the most important thing to do to build on what you were saying is ultimately it's about building relationships with people. It's about building networks. You know, rather than going straight in there saying offering your services, it's like, well, let me learn about your business and let's see how we can help each other. Let's organise a meeting 3 weeks in advance and properly build a relationship and a conversation. You know?
Thank you for mentioning that. Thank you, because so many people do come in expecting a quick win. You don't go to the gym and get results overnight. You don't join a weight loss club and get immediate results of 2 stone weight loss. But you can also get lucky in when you do, like you do when you go out on a night out sometimes and things like this. But certainly, I've been to a network meeting. The first ever meeting I went to, I walked out with a £5,000 order, and I'm looking around the room going, there's 59 other people in the room. Wow, if they all place similar value, it's that easy. But it's not. No. And I didn't see work from those other people in the room. It's only that one person. What do? I was in the right place at the right time. Place the order, happy days. So well done on mentioning that as well, because people do expect that you walk straight in, it's a quick fix, it's a quick win. It takes ages to build trust with people, and even we face it sometimes. People come into us and say, well, loved your meeting, can you refer me? And I'm like, well, I've only met you for like 20 minutes of my life. I don't even know, how trustworthy you are. I don't even know you. So. But that's what we enjoy about the community that we manage in a way, and we work with people like yourselves to actually get to know you, get to know what you're looking for as well. We can help to engage and
I'd say it's about, if you can build a brand within the networking group, it's not so that you're going to catch someone at the right time who's just got a new website, who just needs new content. It's more so if they can look back when they have got that new website and go, who do we know that make good content? Those 3 guys from the networking that we've met like once a month for the past 6 months. It's like as soon as once you're like there and people know about you, that's when you're going to catch it, not at like this kind of shooting star moment. Yeah.
Spray and pray as well is another thing we hear. You kind of spray your business cards around and pray someone rings you. I mean, that's never going to work. At the end of the day, just getting in and
targeting everything, isn't it? And we reflect that in our service, especially with social media marketing. If you can build that presence, people see it over and over and over again. All right, they might be thinking of marketing, Venturi Marketing. Why not? We'll give them a go. Or whatever business you have, you might do hand knitted bags. What's a present? Mother's Day. That'd be all right. I met them the other week. Go down there, sort something out. And I think making yourself present in people's minds is the key to getting what you want, if that makes sense, to getting that business and building that relationship and just building the company.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, George, and George, you're unforgettable really with those names. The 3 Georges, but fantastic what you're doing. I really love following your progress, seeing what you're up to as well. Keep going as well. You're doing an amazing job so far. So, and good luck with all the future and everything.
Thanks, Simon.
Thank you very much.